Oh, I need some new intro music.
Step back.
Get out of my I think it's my favorite. It's not your goal. It's her goal. I can defend that. Talk about it.
I can defend that.
Let's go, man. Oh, what did I do? Here, let's go. You got it. Here we go. There we go. There we go. We in here, man. We in here.
Yeah.
It's your kinfolk DMR. Welcome to Back to the Lab. Back to the Lab live. You know what I'm saying? Where we celebrate classic hip hop albums, legendary MCs, DJs, producers, etc., in the cashmere sweater. You know what I'm saying? I am your kinfolk DMR, man. We are again, man. We are at the dope as the lovely curators of dopeness / daisies and pancakes. I got my folks Neek Roots up in here. I got Brandy My Asia in here. Share the experience in here. And this man that y'all looking at to my left, man, you know, when you talk about somebody who planted the seed, I would say, you know what I'm saying, in the 80s.
I like that.
Yeah, man, planted the seed, especially when it comes to who everybody says is, you know, one of the GOATs of all time.
Right.
When it comes
favorite
to
rapper's favorite rapper.
Yes, man. Yeah, this man has a very, very close connection, man. A lot of stories, I'm sure. You know, but hey, without further ado, man, the legendary Def Jam Blaster in the building, man. How you doing, bro?
Hey, man. Thank you. Doing good.
Lab, man.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. You know, I like to be vulnerable, but at the same time, I don't want to go and not, you know, speak things into existence. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But man, we're a rising platform. You know what I'm saying? We've been getting it in for like 5 years, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's what's up.
And I feel like I'm doing my duty for hip hop, man, to mention names that don't get mentioned a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like every week is somebody new that I want to talk about on the podcast, you know.
Yeah.
And when I get a guest, that just puts the icing on the cake, you know what I'm saying? Especially somebody knowledgeable about hip hop and the city. You know, it's just a blessing to have you here, man. So I appreciate you, bro. You know,
and I appreciate being here. You know, hip hop is about taking things from a foundational level, building something out of nothing, taking one thing and flipping it into something else. So
that's right.
I love up and coming is the point. You know, anything that's up and coming, experimental, abstract, I like it. I'm attracted to those sorts of things, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me ask you what I ask everybody, man.
All right.
If you could go back to the lab and just sit in a studio session and watch any album be made from beginning to end, you know what I'm saying? what album would that be? Or it can be two. K Reno asked for two, so I know cats might want two. So
on the hip hop side, it would be Paid in Full.
Oh,
Eric B. and Rakim.
Come on, thank you, sir.
And really specifically for my melody for that song, I probably would have had to leave the studio.
Oh man,
you know, for that one. And then I'd probably say something like Purple Rain.
Okay. Classic, man.
But yeah, on the hip hop side, it would definitely be Paid in Full.
Paid in Full.
Rakim is the GOAT.
Rakim, man, the God MC,
that's
man.
It.
You know what I'm saying? He like you said, bro. Man, he changed the game. He changed the way.
The song "My Melody." I remember when that song came out. I'm in Missouri City. I'm from Missouri City, and at that time, one of my buddies, shout out to Juan Brown. He's from New York, and his older brother still lived in New York, and so we would, on a regular basis, get tapes back from WBLS and Kiss FM. Okay. So we'd get the Mr. Magic tapes with Marley Marl. We'd get the Red Alert tapes.
Right.
And that song was on one of the tapes. And it was just a goosebump moment. Like, what is this? And to hear what he was talking about, we were like, this is incredible.
Way ahead of his time. So, the man was like a scientist. A lyrical science.
That's what I would have wanted to be in the room, but I probably wouldn't have been able to stay in the room. Like I said, I'd have probably been like, wait a minute. Did y'all hear this? What's going on here? We were just saying throw your hands in the air 5 minutes ago, and now he's like, I take 7 MCs and put them in a line.
Add 7 more to that if they think they can rhyme.
I mean, the poetry was incredible. It still stands the test of time, and that was a gear-changing moment for hip hop culture and music specifically. And there's only a few moments like that.
Yeah.
That's the one, like I said, everything before that was kind of just party records and you know, cool jamming songs.
Now we coming with messages.
But this one, he slows the beat down and just really is just dropping art. And you're like, wait a minute, you know, we hadn't really considered that you could do that on a rap song. You know, that's not what was going on until that moment when that record came out.
I read in his book that Marley Marl and them was telling him to stand up when he was spitting, when he spit his rhymes.
Yeah.
But he spit them sitting down on the couch. He was like, you know, I'm cool, you know, like I'm good. I don't need to stand up.
Yeah.
And it was just like this dude is not gonna stand up. Like he really kind of just changed the whole perspective of how to approach your bars and how to approach landing tracks and everything.
You couldn't you could not make a record the way records sounded the day before his record came out. You couldn't do that anymore and get away with it. So as soon as he came out with that, after that, everybody's trying to drop knowledge and trying to, you know, intermingle, you know, little sprinkles of 5% stuff, little sprinkles of this. Everybody started trying to do it. Before that, that was not really the music. That was not a big thing.
Yeah, it was, and then the costumes too, man, and what everybody wore and all the good stuff.
I mean, the Dapper Dan outfits, man. Nah, you couldn't. Yeah,
you
couldn't compete with that.
Yeah, you couldn't compete.
So yeah, that's what I want to be. Paid in Full,
I like
and maybe Purple Rain, because I think on the non-hip hop side, you know, Prince was that musical genius as well.
Yeah,
it's just incredible, you know.
And I hate that comparison that cats always try to put up. You know, who you got, Prince or Mike?
Well, you know, I mean, I think it's just because they were both black.
Yeah.
And that's really the only similarity.
And it was around the same time.
They were out at the same time. But Prince's music was so different. And it took me a minute to get on to Prince the way I eventually did. Because, I think 1983, 1982, when he's coming out with these albums, he got on like a trench coat and nothing else. I'm like, nah, man, I don't like that.
Half naked.
Got on go-go boots, a thong, and a trench coat. And he's laying on the bed. I was like, nah, I'm not. Yeah, you're a girl. That was hot for you. You were a young lady when that happened.
Yeah, man.
I was a young man. I didn't get it. At the time. Now I was like, the music is jamming.
Yeah.
You know, the album cover, I don't really want to be looking at, you know. So, but, you know, as you mature and realize, okay, I'm really into music. This guy is about music.
Yeah.
Everything. Funk, rock. He was just doing it all. You know,
man, and was able to touch so many instruments, man. And
all of and could play them all.
Nobody,
you know, first albums played all the instruments. He only had the band because he needed to do that for live performances. So yeah, those would be the two.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I like that. I like that, man. So I mean, I know you told your story on a few other platforms, man, but briefly, man, just kind of like talk about your early inspiration and songs you may have heard to let you know that you can do this or that you wanted to do this. You know, just kind of bring us up a little bit.
I mean, it's kind of cliche to say that, I was a music lover because everybody pretty much likes music, but I grew up as an only child, and my parents, like most people's parents, always had a good collection of music.
That's right.
My mother listened to all kind of stuff. It could be Gladys Knight, Johnny Mathis, the Bee Gees, the Carpenters. So I had a very diverse background of what I heard in the house. My father comes home, hey, I got this new 12-inch. It's called Atomic Dog. Check this out. So he's bringing the funk, Bootsy and stuff like that. So it was just everything, and I just loved it. Again, I'm just in the house by myself a lot. As far as not having siblings at that time. So there's only so much TV you can watch. It's one TV. The adults dominate the TV. So what can I do? Okay, I can put the headphones on and pick whatever record I want and listen to it right now. So that just became a natural thing to do. And for me, it seemed like a natural progression to say, well, now I want to make some music.
Right.
It seemed like that's what everybody probably would want to do.
It's like, man, I can do this, man. I got a few jingles in my head too.
Well, like I said, it just seemed like, I grew up in Ridgemont at that time, and the rock group Kiss was really big. I loved Kiss also. Loved Kiss.
Wow.
And so did the other kids in the neighborhood. We'd get out and try to, pretend like we were in the band, just playing around with a tennis racket for a guitar or whatever. So again, it seemed like a natural thing that everybody wanted to make music. But I was really the only one that was like, well, okay, son, what do you want for Christmas? I want this Sensonic drum machine.
Right.
What? And so that just was a pattern.
And everybody else probably wanted bikes and
they were getting bikes and other sports stuff, whatever. And I was like, I want this drum machine. And so it was just always something like that. Any opportunity that I had where I could get something music related, I would try to get it.
I love it, man. I love it. So it kind of sounds like my story a little bit, man. So I grew up with moms and grandmother. You know what I'm saying? So grandmother would have the old gospel, I'm coming up.
Yeah.
Moms,
I remember those commercials.
Yeah, the commercials really what stick in your head, man.
Man.
Moms would come in with the Minnie Riperton, stuff like that. And my uncle stayed there too. My uncle would come in with the George Clinton and
Parliament, all that good
stuff, man. The Sugar Hill Gang. So it was just pretty much a balance of everything. So when my mom gave me a stack of records, I'm listening to all these records, man, but I'm also hearing songs on the radio that sampled this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm telling everybody, I'm like, yo, bro, that's really Heat Wave right there. That's Average White Band right there. And they like, man, how the fuck do you know, bro? I'm like, I just know, bro. I got these joints.
The interesting thing about that, before there was rap music outside of New York, that wasn't a thing. What you're talking about is like,
right.
What do you mean? These are just songs. So, and you probably remember too, but I distinctly remember before rap music.
Yeah.
Everything that we would listen to. And then later, like you said, when my father brought home the Rapper's Delight 12-inch, then it was like, oh, wait a minute, man, that sounds familiar. It'd take a minute to say, okay, that really is Good Times.
That's right.
That they're rapping over. But before then, everything was just all original stuff, man. So,
and that's the beautiful part about it, because I always felt like, it's a thing that I say in my slogan when I say et cetera, et cetera. And when I say that, I mean the people that aren't DJs or MCs or producers, but they under the umbrella. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm talking about the backup dancers, the jewelers, everybody, man. And so when I say that, I even mean the other artists from other genres whose music we sampled that turned into hip hop.
It's the DNA of hip hop.
Yeah, we didn't have the sound, until we started hitting the break beats and everything like that, man. Right. Tell me about your first big time studio session, like when you first got in a real studio.
The first time, look, I got some visuals.
Oh, yeah.
So the first time that I went into a studio,
okay,
was with this guy, MC Billy D.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that, man.
So yeah, the first time I went to the studio was with MC Billy D. Shout out to my man. You could take it out the cover if it shows better. But
wow.
I had been making songs. By this time, we moved to Hunters Glen in around 1984, and so by that time I was trying to make beats and stuff like that. So if I was 14 or 15, he was 17 or 18, maybe even 19. He was older, but he knew guys that were able to try to put together a record label. So the first real studio that I went to was Sugar Hill Records, and it's still there. And it's still here, right here in Houston. Sugar Hill Records.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the oldest studio in Houston, and that's where we went around 1988 to record. We probably did about 7 or 8 songs with Billy D. And the problem in hindsight is that's a real ass studio. That's a professional, like ZZ Top records there. You know what I'm saying? It's a real studio. Man. So anything you go to after that, you're like, oh, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just came out of 48 track studio. What is this? Y'all got a little tape recorders and but that was the hip hop side, is learning that, okay, we're going to take whatever we got access to, because we didn't have access to that. That was I started at the top as far as the studio experience.
I was going to ask, like, did it intimidate you, like being that you?
Well, I didn't know anything different. It's what you see on TV.
Okay.
If you saw, I'm going to say one of my earliest memories is probably of a Brady Bunch episode where they were in a recording studio. Okay. Well, that's what Sugar Hill looked like. A real studio with a real booth, huge 48 track. They got grand pianos, platinum plaques on the wall. 7-8 rooms you can choose from. I was like, okay, well, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Okay.
So it was not intimidating. I was like, well, this is what I thought it would look like.
Right.
It was
regardless
it was
of
very
cool. What you had and how you were set up, you knew what to expect when you stepped into a big time.
So well, at that time, the rap music was just going to be an 808 beat and me scratching and maybe playing a basic bass line or something.
Okay.
And so I knew how to do that. It was just like, okay, well, it wasn't like I had, some little dinky keyboard and was like, oh no, they got a grand piano. I'm not even worried about that. I'm scratching and making beats on drum machines. So I didn't feel any kind of way in that aspect. It was very exciting, obviously, because nobody was going to a real studio like that at the time. That was a huge deal to be able to do that.
Man, it is crazy that 88 was the year. Like, that's my favorite year in hip hop right there, man.
Yes, it's one of the best years. I would say, I could argue that the golden era of hip hop begins around 85 and carries up to about 92, 93, maybe. Yeah. Again, there could be, people are gonna have. I don't know if I'm gonna. I mean, it could be done. It could extend further, but it needs to start at like 84 and 85.
Right.
So 88 naturally is in there, but there was, Rock the Bells, Can't Live Without My Radio. These is 1985 stuff, 86, 85, Beastie Boys. You can't skip over those records that were so huge,
So speaking of 88, man,
1988,
I brought a couple of treats too, man.
Okay,
I know you said you worked with Royal Flush.
Yeah.
Lil Raheem, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll
talk about those.
Talk about that, man.
So let me see. So that's shout out to the homie Raheem.
And we not even getting to the big boy.
This is the cassette single with some of the stuff on it for the second album.
Yeah.
So the homie Raheem, what up, Ra?
Yeah, man.
I'm in touch with Guy. I haven't talked to Raheem in a couple of years, but I do make it a point to try to find everybody that I used to work with and stay in touch with people.
Royal Flush.
So what do you want to talk about first?
Yeah,
which one?
You take your pick, man. You go ahead and go there, like some of your involvement.
So, okay.
And some of your memories about that.
So then if we're gonna go, let's go in order.
Okay.
You went to 88.
All right. Well, should we?
No.
Okay.
You went to 88.
All right.
Let me do it like this.
Wow. Oh,
we have to get.
We got the white gloves, man. Hold up.
You have to be careful.
You have
to respect You have to respect the vinyl.
Okay.
Because
wow.
The first record that I produced and came out was a 7-inch from DJ Action.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and it's
sir.
called I'm DJ Action, my man. Song on the B-side is Big Time. So this is the first record, and I don't know anybody that has this record.
Wow. Man.
If you go on Discogs, it's like $800-900. So
yeah, I'm sure they want a fortune for that.
I'm the only person that I know that has this. Now I'm saying that because hopefully somebody will come in the comments like, no, I got a box of them. But right now, nobody has shown and proved that they have this. So, you know, one day when I need to send my son through college, you know, we'll
get that out the way.
But no, that's history right there. So,
yes, man.
So that's the first one, and that's going to be about 1987, maybe.
87. Okay.
And that one was.
And for those that don't know who DJ Action is, if you've been living under a rock for 4 decades, man, that's the one and only Brad Jordan, aka Scarface, man.
Right.
Mr. Scarface, you know.
Because again,
so he's just letting y'all know out there.
He's a DJ first and foremost. That's how I met him. He was the DJ for Billy D MC. The record that I held up with Billy D.
Right.
He's the DJ on that record. That's how
man.
we met, is through Billy D.
So it's some actual cuts and scratches.
There's some scratching. Yeah, there's a little bit of scratching on there from and some vocals, like, you know, on the intro type stuff.
Yes.
So
wow.
So that's the first one that I produced.
Okay.
And that was, I learned how to program the Roland drum machines.
Right.
And they all program the same way, but there's a specific way called step programming. Like you could just tap the beat out necessarily in real time.
But you said you started with the 505 though, right?
I had a 505 years later.
Okay.
Billy D, with this real record company at the time, was like, yo, they want to know what you need. I said, I need two 1200s, I need an 808 and whatever. Okay. And they just went and got the stuff. And he brought it over to my parents' house in Hunters Glen.
So you know.
So I learned how to. I learned how. We didn't have manuals for any of the stuff. So I just kind of, everything is reverse engineered. Wow. I cannot overstate the significance of, here you go, and then that's it. There's no instruction. There's no video. There's no paper. It's just, there it is. You wanted an 808, man, make it work. And so, being the person who knew how to program the hip hop drum machine, so we went to the studio, but that was the drum machine for Billy D's stuff. Okay, I couldn't take it with me to the other studio to work with Brad. So when we got there, he had a 707. I was like, I know how to program any Roland device. Gotcha. And so we did the beat on the 707. I added cuts, and that's basic. So that was the first songs that I produced that were released. Now we can go to the next year, 1988. Now you can bring 1988.
All right, and then here we go, man. Scarface, DJ Action, Shortstop Records.
Shout out to Lil Troy.
Yeah, rest in peace to 3-2.
Rest in peace to the homie 3-2. Shout out to Mixmaster B, aka Grim, goes by Grim now. Produced Wanna Be a Baller.
Man, y'all some babies on here.
Beto is on there.
Beto on here.
My man Dexter, who was for real. That's a for real dude, man. Dexter was the security, made sure everything was good.
He's the only one that weapon.
I'm the only one. So here's what it is. Man. I'm from Mo City,
right?
In the 80s, 70s, and 80s, right?
Right.
Nice place to raise a family. You know what I'm saying? That's how I always put it. So
I can dig it.
We were trying to be like the Huxtables. You know, everybody was trying to be cool. So that wasn't me. I wasn't
none of that tomfoolery.
I wasn't and I specifically told, because what happened was we go to do the photo shoot somewhere in South Park, and Troy pops the trunk. We rode over in the caddy. We loving it, balling. He pops the trunk.
And Vogues on.
Yeah, he pops the trunk, and it's like a movie. He's like, everybody just pick what you want. He just has a lot of artillery.
Damn.
Just anything you could think of, he had it. So everybody just pull his stuff. Oh yeah, come on, Will, you gonna get some? Nah, man, I can't. My mom is gonna see this.
That's right.
And I'm gonna get in trouble.
That's right.
And he respected that. And so again, shout out to Lil Troy, because he always, I think at that moment he was like, okay, I see what kind of guy this guy is. And he always looked out for me. Anything that was going on, stuff would be going on, and he just always made sure I was away from it. You know, because he was still a tight dude in the streets. You know, he was still ready for action if need be. And so he made sure that I was always kept away from it. He's like, hey, Will just makes the beats and does the scratching and stuff, and that's it. So,
I remember my first time hearing this song, man. It was before Rap A Lot picked it up and started doing their thing with it.
Yeah.
But so, I was immediately captured because I knew about the movie and everything, and it was just almost like he was doing a rap version, like a black version of the movie.
And that's what it is. So
I was just like, whoa, captivated.
He's DJ Action. And you could listen to his records from 1988 all the way up to today. He still refers to himself as Ack.
That's right.
Very frequently in many songs. So he's still referring to himself as Ack. So Scarface was a story that he wrote. It was not his name. And he's talked about this before. That was not his name. This was just a story. But, you know, it got such a buzz. And in the song, he says, just call me Scarface. That's like the last line of the song, you know? So I don't think he intended for that to be his name because that's not what we talked about. That's not what it says on the credits. But it's the sort of thing where, hey, if it's going to take off and that's what it is, then I'll roll with it, run with it. You know, I see the lane open and that's what the lane is, take it. And so very wisely, he just embraced that because people started calling him Scarface. So.
Did you produce another Head Put the Rest too?
No, Mixmaster B, aka Grim. He did another Head Put the Rest. I did the Scarface song. And the story for the Scarface song is, so we do the record. Me and Brad are doing songs, let's say 86, 87. And he, you know, he's living in Missouri City at the time. We're all in school together. Me, him, and 3-2. Marcus Wiley also rapped with us
the
as
comedian,
well.
Right?
Yeah. One by the name Rappin' D. So we all were making songs together. But then me and Brad kind of lost touch briefly, and me and 3-2 started hanging out a lot.
Okay, I got
so whereas me and Brad would hang, he would come to my parents' house just to make music. Me and Chris were just hanging out. We were friends. He would come to parties with me.
It was like your everyday buddy.
Yeah, we would try to talk to girls together. And then we would make a lot of songs together as well. So by the time we got with Lil Troy, he booked us some time at Ultimate Sound Studios on Alameda.
All right.
Or in the Hiram Clark area. Yeah. I may have the street wrong, but it was in the Hiram Clark area. And
was it kind of big time studio?
It was a real studio. Real studio.
Okay.
Richard Simpson, you know, rest in peace to him. Hugely influential because a lot of people's stuff got recorded out there. Gotcha. He did some Destiny's Child stuff, H-Town, a lot of the groups recorded material out there. And when Lil Troy booked the day, just booked the whole day, studio time, he's gonna bring all his groups. So at the time, the part of the day that I was going, it was me and 3-2. And by this time, I had been through so many different pieces of equipment. I had eventually got an Ensoniq sampling keyboard.
Okay.
Groundbreaking. And so Brad is working with Mixmaster B at the time. So when we get in, Troy's like, okay, Will, you guys ready? I said, yeah, we're ready. We load up the discs, drop everything. So at this time, it's a huge change in the sound of the music. Because I have a sampler now. And so we lay out all the songs and the stuff that we did at that time. These were some of the songs that we did that ended up on a 7-inch in recent years. But we recorded a whole bunch of stuff. But the main song was called Look at Me Now. And I was, you know, so I'm just sampling beats. I'm doing loops. I'm scratching break beats in. I'm doing all this. Kind of, if you listen to it, you'll be like, it kind of sound like the stuff like Dre was doing. Have a sample going, then he scratch in a different break, then the sample come back.
Kind of like some of that old dope man.
But that was the kind of the style. That was the way everything was going. And so, when we finished recording our 2 or 3 songs, Brad was kind of like, man, I want a beat like that, you know. And Troy was like, you know, Will, what can you do?
Yeah.
And when I would go to the studio, I had you always bring a crate of records just because you don't know what's going on. You're
right. You never know what you're gonna need. Yeah.
So I had a crate of records, and I had another idea for a beat that I hadn't even put together yet.
Okay.
And the song was "Give Me What You Got" by a group called La Pamplemousse. Now, I had heard it from Marley Marl. He sampled
Legendary.
he sampled it and made a song with Big Daddy Kane called Word to the Motherland, but it was only like a minute to a minute and a half long. It was on a 12-inch for Raw. So it wasn't like a full 4-minute song. Okay. So I was like, okay, nobody really knows that. It'll be okay if I use it at some point in the future. So that moment came instantly in the studio, and I didn't have a way to connect the turntable to my keyboard in the studio. They had the outputs rolling to a keyboard that was already in there that I didn't know how to program. So basically, there's 3 main samples in the song: the bass line, the drums, and then a little background sample from Syl Johnson. They're called Different Strokes. And
but that
that's me right there. Yeah, that was the part that I was like, this is the heart of the beat.
That's it.
So we sample it on the keyboard. Big Rich, he puts it on 1 key. Then we sample the drums. Crazy C is in the studio. He's the one that says, let's use this Ashley's Roach clip. Let's use this for the beat. Because I hadn't put the beat together yet fully. I just knew the main part. Dum, 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 dum. I just knew that part. And the Syl Johnson. I 2 out of the 3 samples, I already had the idea.
What's that? What part is that? That little, I can't think. It's like a. If you heard it, if
you play it off of this 12-inch, there's only 3 samples.
Yeah.
So it has to be the Syl John.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be the Different Strokes. Yeah. And I'm just punching it in every now and then.
Yeah.
It's just a little, whatever. It was just something to add to the beat. And most of the guys were real musicians, so they didn't know how to program. They just turn on the keyboard and play it. So we had to sit there for the whole 5 minutes and press start every time the loop needs to start over. And so this record is not sequenced very well because we're doing it in real time. We're just hit. Everybody's got a key, and everybody's like hit. My loop is 8 bars, but Crazy C's loop is only 4.
Yeah.
Richard is 8. You know,
everybody got to be
counting. And we're sitting right next to each other like this, trying to make it. So it was an interesting and memorable experience. But we laid that, and man, when he went in the booth, it was almost like that Rakim moment. When he went in the booth, I was like, shit. This ain't the stuff we was doing in my bedroom 2 or 3 years ago. I was like, this is totally different.
Yes.
Because the initial stuff we're doing is just what some people used to call MC rhymes. Just rhyme, I'm the baddest, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the whatever. My DJ is the coldest. And when he went in there, I was like, man, this is like a little movie, And so I did some background vocals on it, and all that. Mixmaster B did the cuts on it.
I heard you said you did the I'm sorry, Act Don't Kill Me. I was joking.
Yeah. That's one of my stuff I did, and I did a lot of stuff like I've done a lot of stuff like that. I've done stuff like that on Willie D's album. Because if you're in the studio, you almost you become like a session musician.
Right.
And so I would be there for whatever project, and then somebody like, hey man, we need this. Just go in the booth and do it. Or hey, we need to scratch, go do a scratch right quick. He said, yeah, let's do it. I want to be on everything. So
let me ask you this. Is Scarface the one that you said he's gonna make it undeniable? Like when you first heard him on his shit, was he one of the first people that you said this guy's gonna make it?
So I'm working with 3-2. I'm working with Scarface. I'm working with Billy DMC, who's a little bit older, a little bit different style. All of these guys were really
Everybody was good. Yeah,
they were. I was working with really talented people.
Right.
Very fortunately, working with some very talented guys. So there was not initially a standout until this record. Then I was like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah,
this is totally different, But up until that point. And there was lots of other guys that I was working with too in the neighborhood.
Had you seen the movie before y'all? Had you seen the movie?
I had not seen the movie. No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So I bet you was like, where the fuck is he getting this story from?
Well, even having not seen it, everybody kind of knew what it was about.
Okay.
Even if you hadn't actually seen it, there's probably movies today that somebody can say, oh, Titanic. Okay, I didn't see it, but I kind of know what happens. I know, and I know the story from having heard so many people talk about it.
Right.
So Scarface, even if you hadn't seen the movie, what's going on. Everybody knows Tony Montana. And there's lots of key things that are getting talked about. Right. The world is yours. We've heard these things. It's part of popular culture.
That's it.
So even though I hadn't seen the movie, when he said, yeah, just call me Scarface. I said, okay, yeah, Scarface is selling drugs in the movie, blah, blah, blah. I get it. That's what this story is about. Started small time, dope game, cocaine, pushing rocks on the block. I get it. I see the connection.
And man, I've been telling people, I'm like, yo, man, I'm gonna have Def Jam Blaster on the show. You know, and people say, oh, the DJ. I'm like, but look, it's deeper, bro. Like I said, did you know he produced the first Scarface? Did you know? And I'm like, nah, man, I ain't know that. Like, do you feel like that's just a fact that needs to be put out more, man? Like, and it's you know what I'm saying? It's you the one that produced it. Like, do you feel like you gotten enough credit for this?
Well, I've told Brad a few times because he talked about it on Drink Champs. That's a huge platform. And he's talked about it he talked about it when we celebrated the 50th anniversary of hip hop. There was the big program. He talked about it on the stage there. And, you know, I always tell him, hey, man, thank you for mentioning that. You know, you may not realize it, but that means a lot to me because that's my one big thing on the production side is that, you know, whereas you got all the accolades and all the attention that you deserve. So I just got this one little, in my mind, I got the one thing that kind of made it. So I appreciate that. And I'm not really concerned with the credit. I appreciate it when it happens. Like, oh, man, that's really cool. You know, that somebody thinks enough to mention that. And tell people that I did it, you know, and it helps to have my picture on the cover. Yeah, that was a huge deal. You cannot understand.
Man. Y'all know which one here?
You cannot. And look, and it's I'm right next to 3 2 on there. Yeah. But and look, I still got that hat. I still had that jersey. Still got all that stuff. Still got all that stuff. I'm an archivist, man. I keep everything.
I love that part about it, man. So like, have you donated stuff to like you know, hip hop museums or
not yet
pop-ups and stuff like that?
The only thing that I've done, I do have a section at Rice University, but it's in the periodicals. Like I had saved all the hip hop magazines from day one and newspapers and things of that nature, and I donated all of that. So there is I do have a collection with the CERCL. I forget exactly what the acronym is for, but I do have you know, an area there for the periodicals. So you want to go see the early source magazines and you know, rap pages and stuff like that. I had them all and donated them. They're on loan to Rice University. Yeah.
All right. Hey, so
but none of this other stuff like this, not this part yet. If the right presentation was made to me, I would consider it, you know.
Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. Let's take a pause, man, and do what we came here for, man. Besides talking to the Blaster, we got to celebrate a couple of albums, man. Y'all know my lane is hip hop celebration, album anniversaries and stuff like that. So since we had a guest, I only kept it to about a couple of albums. I usually run through about 5 albums. Okay. But I only kept a couple of albums on deck for today. So I got a couple of albums we want to talk about real briefly, man. Real briefly. And then we're gonna get to some of these comments, man, because I'm seeing some comments in here. Baby C Scratch said what up.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What up, C?
Sharon Allen up in there. Yeah, you know, she said you're a classmate.
I was gonna say this sound like I'm on Mo City people. Yeah, Baby C. Baby C was around a lot. He was in most cities, so he was at a lot of this stuff at my parents' house in particular. Around 3-2, around Scarface, you know, around Billy D. You know, there was a lot of other people that would be around because you know you just come over and hang out and watch what's going on. You know.
Yeah, just kind of like be that fly on the wall, like I was saying about being in the studio earlier.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right. So first album I want to talk about real quick, man. We going back to 1995, man.
Okay.
Junior Mafia. This was the debut album from the collective. You know what I'm saying? Lil C's, Lil Kim, the Snakes, Cheek Veldeck, the Cheek Del Vec, that was his name. Nino Brown. They had a whole big squad, man. This was the debut album. It came out on Undies, Big Beat, and Atlantic Records. Some of the production on here, Action Love, who was just here.
Yeah.
Special Ed, you know what I'm saying? Daddy-O from Stetson. Yep. They had an album from '88 that's one of my favorite.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
With Sally on it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Ghost Stetson, On Fire.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Special Ed did some production on this joint as well. And DJ Clark Kent, man, rest in peace. DJ Clark Kent did Get Money. I Need You Tonight. He did a couple of tracks on here, man. You know what I'm saying? Feature wise, Jamal, aka Molly G from Illegal. You remember that group?
I
from
do
Philly?
remember Illegal. Yeah.
Mal was on this joint, and the R&B singer Jimmy Cozier. Y'all remember Jimmy Cozier?
Jimmy Cozier.
Yeah.
Don't You Forget It was his
don't
12-inch.
You forget it. Yeah. So he sung on the song on here, man. Just want to shout out they chart facts and they sales. They peaked at number 8 on the Billboard 200 with this album, and also number 2 on the R&B and hip hop album charts. And it's a certified gold album, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I dug this album right here, man. That I wonder if I take you home. Yeah. They rocked on that one, man. And Get Money for sure.
Absolutely.
Get Money gonna always be a classic right there, man. All right, so big up to Junior Mafia, man. Rest in peace to B.I.G., man.
Right.
Happy anniversary to y'all, man.
Dope album, man.
The 35th anniversary, man.
Wow.
I'm sorry, the 30th anniversary. Oh. It came out in 95. 30th anniversary.
Only 5 years difference. Still a long time ago.
For real.
Yeah.
And I told Shay I was going to get a kick out of it this year because I do the milestones and everything. So I knew 95 would be coming up a lot, during this year. You know what I'm saying? So, 95 was my graduation year, man. So, man, this was a banger to me. Even some of my New York partners, they don't like it because they said, Big wrote a lot of it. I'm like, but sonically, it was still good.
Sounded good.
Yeah, it was still a good album, man.
Yeah.
And here's my album of the week, man. My album of the week. It's more fun when I have a lot of albums, and then I kind of like have you in suspense, and I get to an album of the week. But since we're only doing a couple of them, it's just kind of like take all the surprise out of it. But we go into 2015. 2015.
Pretty recent.
Was it 15? 2000. No, I'm sorry. 2005. 2005.
Okay.
Kanye West, man. Late registration.
Yeah.
Late registration.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This was Heard Them Say. You know what I'm saying? Diamonds Are Forever. You know what I'm saying? Drive Slow. Yeah, Roses. Roses was on here. Hey Mama. He had a lot of classics on here, man.
First 3 albums for me.
Yeah. Strong first three.
I miss the old Kanye. I'm one of them dudes.
Come on, man.
I'm one of them guys, man.
We here together, man.
Nah, I said what I said. First 3. No, I respect. Everybody loves that. Yeah. I'm like, I don't hear it. I don't hear it the way everybody else. And I wish I did. Yeah. But it doesn't hit my ears. Doesn't hear my ears the right way.
This was my guy, man. So this album dropped on and by the way, this was the second album, the sophomore. It dropped on Rockefeller, Def Jam. Some of the production on here, man. Kanye West, of course. Just Blaze, you know what I mean? Just to name a few.
Yeah.
Features. Jamie Foxx was on this joint, man. Paul Walker. This was right after the Ray movie and everything. Man.
Yeah.
He was hot, man. Gold Digger was hot. That's probably his best song ever. You think that's Ye's best song ever, man? Like Gold Digger?
Nah, I mean, it's probably that could potentially be his most successful single.
I did a bracket for this once because they had a bracket like NCAA style. Like 64 songs, and you went through it. And I think I got down to like Gold Digger and Spaceship. I think Gold Digger was the winner.
Spaceships? What? Somebody said that's an album track. That's crazy.
But that's okay.
Working is great.
That's okay.
Working
is
okay. Let's go.
Gold Digger was what we came to.
And that's a great song, but it is kind of poppy to me. It is kind of made for radio. It's jamming, but I need to hear Kanye chop up the samples.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's my ear. That's what hits me, and I'm like, yeah. And he's great at that. He's one of the best.
Yeah, Kanye.
It's him and Just Blaze and Primo and Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying? No ID. And we keep going. There's other guys. There's other guys. But yeah, you could put. Yeah, Primo, that's what he's best at. Yeah, I was gonna say Primo.
Don't even start.
Primo's another level. Like Primo chops samples. We just don't even know what it was.
Exactly.
He found
other
people are chopping 8 bars and speeding it up or whatever.
The pin drop on the Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes album.
He's gonna get 1 or 2 notes.
Go a hit right there.
You're never gonna know what it is. So I put him in a special category. He's kind of exalted because he uses samples in a different way, in a more complex, layered way, where you're like, people still don't know Unbelievable from Biggie. Nobody knows what that sample is. And it's only like 2 notes. Doom, 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 whatever it is. Nobody's figured it out all these years.
Do some research.
So yeah, good luck. I've already done that research.
Oh no,
I've been there. I've tried to ask Primo, and he's not gonna tell.
What's up? What you got? You got a question? You got a question?
My question about Primo chopping it, was that pre or at the same time when samples you started having to pay for samples, or did he always chop them that deep? Because he lives in both worlds, right? He lives in the world prior to having to clear samples, and then after clearing samples, did it become indistinguishable?
We'd have to figure out exactly when they started doing that with the samples, because his first album with Gangstar, is like maybe 91, and it's loops. There's lots of loops on there. There's a song that I did with a group called No Dos. The song's called Step in the Wrong Direction. And we put that out, and then a couple weeks later, Gangstar comes out with using the same main sample, and I was like, well, I must be on the right path.
There you go.
Because Primo picked the same beat to sample, but I don't have the distribution like him.
That's right. He got the machine.
But point being, he's using 8-bar loops. He's using 4-bar loops. I think completely, just as a producer, having not asked him at all, I think he just probably discovered something that sounded better. Like, everybody can do an 8-bar sample, but what if I take it and split the pieces up and then rearrange them and create a whole new piece of art? I'm giving him that credit of just having that kind of a thought process. Because again, if you're just using loops, look what happened with me and him. I use the loop, he used the same loop. So you don't want to have that happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen to Primo, Okay. So 91, 92, when you had to start clearing them. So it could be a combination of both, but I like to think it was just that he was that creative and was like, this is a even better way to use these samples. And there's always stories about there was technical limitations with different equipment. You only have 1.5 seconds of sampling time. Right. So you have to do things creatively. There's all stuff like that could come into play. But again, I just want to say he was that sharp and ahead of the game to say, nah, I'm chopping it up. I'm making it different.
Primo is the truth, man. Let me finish up on the features, man. They also had the Game on here. Sometimes I think the game don't get enough credit for the lyricist that he is, man. The Game is pretty dope.
It's tough, man. Coming from that era, coming from the West Coast, it was just kind of.
You got a lot of extra going on outside.
That's kind of what happened. It overshadowed. Yeah. He had a lot of non-music stuff that started to overshadow the music stuff, but the music was dope.
The music was dope, man.
The music was dope, but then you fall out with 50 Cent, who's the #1 troll in the world. He's gonna pull all the attention off of your music, and he kind of fed into it, and and addressing the beefs and stuff.
Had your first 2 rows empty at your show.
Yeah, so you lose the focus on the music when it becomes about the antics. So.
Common was also on this album, and Brandy did a hook on one of these songs. Chart wise and sales wise, man, this is like amazing for Ye. This is just the American charts. #1 on the Billboard 200 and the Billboard Top R&B and hip hop. This album did #1 like all across the world, Belgium and all this. It's certified 5-time platinum. And I also found out today that all you got to sell is 15,000 copies to go platinum in Ireland. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So maybe you go to Ireland. Maybe go to Ireland with some of these.
Yeah, let me take some of my old projects and release them in Ireland.
You tell them up for, hey, man, I went platinum. No shit, in Ireland, but it's platinum though, fam. Yeah. But big up, man. Big up to Ye, the old Ye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big up to Junior Mafia. I was listening to the Junior Mafia today, man, and I heard Lil Kim on there and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like the original Lil Kim that we remember is this chick right here. You know what I'm saying?
MC Choice.
Yeah,
man. So, so now this gets into part of my, I'll say, Rap-A-Lot era, because I did do work for hire for Rap-A-Lot. I never signed a contract with them.
Okay.
But with my group No Dos, so what would happen is you gotta hey, Rap-A-Lot, they're about to put out this, this lady, Choice. She's doing an album. We're looking for submissions. So sometimes it's just beats. Sometimes it's full songs.
Okay.
And so in the case of Choice, they were looking for full songs. So me and my man D. LaTroy from No Dos, R.I.P. to him. I made a beat. He wrote a song, and he was like, "Okay, I'm ready to record it." Because you record the song, you give them the reference tape with the lyrics, everything, so they can
and
decide.
Then they gotta learn it.
They decide if they want it, if they're gonna learn it. So we're at my parents' house, and he comes over to record the song. I got a 4-track, and whatever. We going through it. The intro is funny. Yeah. It's kind of a little bit sexual in nature, but it's comical. We came up with some silly stuff to say, and so we do that on one track. We go to the next track where he's about to do the lyrics, and he starts rapping, and it's the filthiest stuff I have ever heard. And
worse than like some of them old unesthered tapes and stuff.
Red
like
Fox,
that. Yeah,
LaWanda Page,
Page, that's it.
And so he's got the headphones and the mic, and he's rapping, and I'm probably behind him where the keyboard, where the sampler is. And he only does like the first line and a half, and I guess he catches a glimpse of me, and I'm just looking at him like, and he pretty much chokes on the mic, starts laughing, and it's over. And then he was like, "I can't do it."
Wow.
He was like, "I cannot record this song."
It was filthy.
It was terrible.
So let me ask.
It was terrible.
It
was so not us.
Yeah.
It was so not us. But he was a dope writer. But it was great. It would have been great. But he was like, I can't have a credit that I wrote this. He was like, I can't do it. And I was like, hey, I'm with you, because I was super embarrassed just hearing it. Like, this is not us, man. It was crazy.
So who wrote the Big Payback? Who wrote the diss song to Easy E?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to read the credits. Because like I said, lots of people were contributing. You might have had Raheem.
I always heard it was Willie D.
It could have been Willie D. You had a huge pool of talent in the city that would be in that circle to say, okay, we need beats, we need full songs or whatever. So yeah, very well could have been Willie D.
So 3-2 was your buddy. That was your boy, man. So you got to see kind of like two rebirths. You know what I'm saying? You saw you were working with him from the beginning. Then you saw the Convicts. Then you saw the Black Monks. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about that, man, and how it made you feel to see him kind of like he's up again. You know what I'm saying?
So that time period of rap music, we're going through phases very quickly with Brad, with Chris, with all the guys I'm working with. The initial records are just, I'm the baddest rapper. I'm the coolest guy. And then it starts to get more into when Scarface makes the Scarface song, now we get into storytelling. So the music style changes, the writing changes. And it was just very fast. So you're talking 88, 89, 90. Okay, well, what's happening in 91, 92? Dre is starting to branch out and do more stuff.
That's right.
We hear he's working on an album. Chris is like, well, yo, me and Big Mike are going to go out to LA and we're going to work on some songs with Dre. They might want to bring our group. We got a group called the Convicts. So at that time, we're still friends. As a matter of fact, he and Big Mike would come to the house and put their show tapes together in my bedroom. So early Convict shows, I was making those.
You was making the show.
I was making the show tapes for. I still have those too. Again, I'm the archive. Still have everything. So we were still friends. So when he told me that, it was like, okay, well, so the progression at one point got super accelerated. Okay. Where the styles are changing, everything is happening very fast. So they did the Convicts thing for a while, and then he came back. We did some more solo stuff.
Yeah, he did the Wicked Buddha Baby, right?
Nope, not yet. Me and him did some solo stuff, and me and Big Mike did some solo stuff that eventually got released as this 12-inch in recent years. This is non-Rap-A-Lot stuff. So yeah. But they're coming over and they're both doing solo songs with me. So we're doing that stuff. And that's like 91, 92. So before he got into the Black Monks, we were still doing those songs. And Big Mike was writing songs. One of the songs on there, how I was just talking about reference tracks.
Yeah.
We got a song on here, Don't Let the Smooth Taste Fool You, is a song written for Bushwick that didn't make his album, but it's the reference track that we did where I did the beat. Mike wrote it and rapped it. So that's the reference track that never got used by Bushwick. So
that's you mixing right there.
That's me and
wow.
Yeah, me and 3-2,
and it's the same MCM hat from this cover right here. Too.
Which that was my MCM hat, and he borrowed it for the photo shoot.
Okay.
Never gave it back.
Oh wow! Come on, man.
He never gave it back. So look, it was an MCM hat, and it had a MCM pouch that went around your neck, like you could just put I don't know what, put some lighters or something. And I still got the pouch. But he kept the hat.
You really into
I keep everything, man.
Holding on to everything, man. You like
something in me, just said, well, I got the stuff because I thought it was cool. So just keep it,
This is dope.
So I just kept the stuff. But yeah, so that's what was going on at that time. So right before the Black Monks was, they went out to do some stuff with Dre, and then we recorded those songs that ended up on that 12-inch. And then maybe 92, 93, it seems like. I don't know the year for Black Monk's release, but I think
I want to say it was like 93, 94.
93, 94.
Yeah.
Beto hits me up like, hey man, we're working on something else, so it's the same process. Submit some tracks, come to the studio, let's see if we can make something happen. But by that time I was kind of not so much in that headspace. I was making beats still, but I always looked at myself like I'm still doing Marley Marl. I'm chopping samples or looping stuff and crispy drum, and the sound was changing for Houston.
Right.
It was more synthesizer based, and that's just not my style. I couldn't do it. I didn't feel it, and I couldn't fake it. So I was like, I can't really, I got nothing. I went to one session with Beto. I appreciate him. Shout out to Beto.
Yeah.
I appreciate him calling me in for it, but I was like, I can't do it. I like what they're doing, but I can't help. I can't contribute. So
that is wild, man. Let's talk about your DJing history, man.
Yeah. You skip these other guys. You got to come back to them.
Yeah,
these are still back in the 80s.
We can definitely
whenever you want to do it. Yeah, whenever you want to
come
back
back.
Don't forget them.
So you end up in the clubs, on the radio. Like what came first? The clubs, right? It was the clubs.
Yes, because if you think back to 84, 85, 86, we're 15, 16. You can't go anywhere really. So it really was parties. It was house parties in Missouri City area. Shout out to Briargate, Chasewood, Hunters Glen, all of my schoolmates that lived in those areas. They'd call me like, hey, I'm turning 15. Can you bring your records? It wasn't even on some DJ stuff. People didn't really necessarily just call it that.
Just wanted some
but
music.
Everybody knew I had all the records. Yeah. So So yeah, it was a lot of stuff like that, and I recorded all those parties. Still had the tapes.
Come on, bro. So here we go. 2 weeks in a row. K Reno got all his raps, and here we go. Blaster still got all his tapes, all like the first recordings and all kind of stuff, man. Like,
and so it was doing.
This is what it's
part.
About.
Now I didn't really want to be a party DJ. I just wanted to learn how to scratch. Now you call it turntablism. Back then I would just say I'm just a scratch DJ.
Yeah.
For the longest time I only had one turntable and a mixer, and I just was scratch. That was my interest. I was not necessarily trying to be a party DJ. I was more interested in being a producer. If I had to pick one of the two, I was like, I really just want to make albums because this stuff is incredible. That's really what I wanted to do.
And you was around the time when you had to bring your crates in and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, you had to know how to connect the amps. You had to know how crossovers work. You had to know a little bit of stuff. You had to know how to fix speakers. Sometimes if you're out and you fry the tweeter, you got to know what to do. And so I usually have an extra, but you got to be able to know how to take it apart, fix it real quick. So
but how many albums would you bring with you on a night going to go play at the club?
I was just talking with my man C about this either today or yesterday. Normally when I had it figured out, 4 crates maximum.
Jeez.
So what happened was I would just go through those 4 crates. If I felt like I needed a 5th crate, I was like, something's not right, because I should be able to touch every record in every crate and justify why it's in here. If I haven't played this in the past 4 or 5 months, pull it out and make room for something else. And so that's what I would do. because you only got so much room to put stuff in the car.
Yeah.
Shout out again to Crazy C. He was super instrumental in my early years. He's a couple years older than me, which makes a big difference. If I'm only 14 and he's 16, well, he's got a license. His dad lets him drive a truck. He comes pick me up to go DJ the parties when I can't even drive yet. So you still got a limited amount of space. You know, Baby C's in the seat next to us. We're riding 3 on the banana seat in the truck. You know what I'm saying? You got limited room. So you can't be like, oh, I'm just bringing 8 crates and I'll figure it out there. You can't do that. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
That was my philosophy, at least. I got to figure it out. I got to get it down to what I really need. What's my best records for this party?
So I know that that character that Martin played in House Party, I know that resonated with you.
Well, yeah, with every DJ.
Yeah, man.
Get away from the table.
Get away from the table.
Get off the stage, y'all.
Trying to pack it into Play's car and all that good shit too, man.
Those sorts of incidents on some of the recordings when I started DJing parties at Willow Ridge, 3-2 would be the MC with me. So it's 3-2 and Crazy C on the mic while I'm DJ. I never talked. But 3-2 was a character. He was real, very funny. And so you get him and Crazy C on the mic. It's completely like, forget the music. It's just them ranking on each other or ranking on people in the party. And 3-2 would be the one like, man, get off the stage, man. Y'all making the records jump, man. You know,
it sound just like
it would be that he'd be the one doing that. So instead of me having to say it, he'd be the one.
Man, it sounds just like it, man.
Yeah.
Bro, man, you really was right there with the legends, man. You just like right there.
And you know, that's why I said earlier, it was hard to say, oh man, I knew these guys were gonna, because these are the guys. If you're hanging out with these guys, this is your standard. If I'm going to Sugar Hill Studio, that's my standard of a studio. If I'm hanging out with Scarface and 3-2, that's my standard of a rapper. So, you know, we had great talent.
And were you able to play like the music that y'all was creating? Like, did you play?
Not necessarily, because it was tapes and stuff.
Okay.
No, you know, we were definitely just playing whatever the current stuff was. You know, YZ, Mark 45 that. King.
Thinking of a master plan.
Some Kid and Play stuff, Run DMC stuff. You know, we'd be playing, you know, Kumo D, just whatever was out at the time, you know.
You ever broke a record?
On the radio, yeah.
Yeah.
In particular, DJ Aggravated would tell this story, because I didn't really think of it, because we were just doing, when we started on radio on Magic 102 around 1992, this was before DJs had to have a playlist to go by.
Okay.
So they brought me and Aggravated in like, yo, you guys are hot on the streets. Just come do what you do at the parties. Do it on the radio. Just keep it clean. So we could just play whatever we thought was good, and we stuck to that. So when I get the Nas 12-inch for It Ain't Hard to Tell, I was like, oh, this is jamming. I'm playing this tonight.
Oh, man.
So I'm like, hey, you know, brand new song.
No, I'm thinking about.
No, that's later.
About the gun. Yeah,
this is you know, sampling Michael Jackson, Human Nature.
Joint, from Illmatic.
Yeah, and so I was like, I'm playing this tonight, and I just hit Ag, say, hey man, you know, you need to check this Nas out. It's a white label, so it's very plain looking. I was like, yeah, you need to check this out, man. I'm playing it tonight. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And then he says when he heard me play it, he was like, oh yeah, that's hot, man. So there would be stuff like that, but I didn't think of it as breaking a record. And now let me be clear. Now, on college radio side, I'm not even comparing to that. Shout out to my man Will Strickland on Rice. I don't want to get the number wrong, but KTRU. He did a rap show where he was probably playing everything way before us.
Okay.
It was a lot easier to do that. In spite of us not even really having guidelines on the mix show, he was just probably getting the records first because he had been in the game a little bit longer. He was running the station or running that show, whereas I'm just a mixer. The program director would be the guy, you know, who's getting this. Well, he was all of that. So he was getting, so he probably was breaking stuff first on like a community radio type college radio, but on commercial radio, I probably broke a lot of stuff because we didn't have to go by a playlist. So I'm like, yo, this Nas is hot. Yo, this De La Soul is hot. Yo, this is jamming. I mean, just whatever. Even into later years when playlists and stuff came in, you know, there would be people that would bring records up. Trader True, I think, brought his record to a music meeting. And when I was working at the box, and me and Walter D were doing a music meeting, and J Mac, And I was like, yo, this record is hot. You know, I was like, we're playing this immediately. I'll go to the programmer like, yo, and that's out of hundreds of meetings, it was one record. So, you know, we broke his first song, but again, I wasn't thinking about it in terms of, yo, I'm breaking records. I'm the first today. I was never I'm the first.
I can do
kind of dude. I was like, man, if it's jamming, it's jamming.
That's right.
And my thing was, well, I'm gonna play it better than any other DJ.
And that's what I was gonna say.
I'm gonna finesse it better. I'm gonna mix it better. I'm gonna place it better. I'm gonna introduce it better.
The way you serve it,
right?
Kind of like
the presentation
determines. Yeah,
the presentation. The way I'm giving it to you is gonna be better.
So now if I just play it out of nowhere, it's like like I didn't lead into it no kind of way. I didn't.
You know, it just
ease it up. Yeah,
and then you know that's what makes everybody unique. At one point, when you're playing the hits, everybody got the same 20 hits. How are you gonna make it different? What's your presentation gonna be? How are you going to introduce it? What are you going to surround it with to make it different? And so I developed, you know, the emceeing skill much more to be able to kind of talk people into stuff. So,
some legendary nights at the clubs. I can imagine how many.
Absolutely, yeah.
What's one of your most fondest memories, man? Like one of them crazy nights.
So the thing with me, I was and primarily am a party DJ.
Okay.
I always, because you got to think, starting at like 14 or 15, you're not in the clubs.
Yeah.
So the pattern develops, the behavior develops that I'm a party DJ, because all you could have at a young age is a party somewhere. Somebody got a spot or a house, a backyard, or whatever, and you're having a party. So that pattern kind of stayed the same for me. I never really got into the clubs. By the time I got to college, I'm doing the Greek parties.
Okay.
And I'm doing all of them. And then in spring 93, I pledge. I'm a Kappa. Now I'm doing all the Kappa parties across the state of Texas. But I'm doing the Alpha parties in Houston as well. So now I'm starting to do some of the Alpha parties around Texas as well. And so that just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. So I was always booked doing parties somewhere in Texas. So that was my lane more so than the clubs.
Okay.
But, you know, the stories were still there, even at the parties. You know, one of my favorite stories with my man DJ Aggravated, with DJing the Texas Relays at some point in the 90s in Austin. That's kind of stuff we would do.
That was it.
So it's huge, you know, easily a couple thousand people in the parties.
Easy.
And we're doing one party. It's kind of outdoors. It's in the day. It's hot.
Yeah.
And the music cuts off. The power's dead. We're heated. We're like, come on, man, we was right there. Everybody's getting drunker by the minute. It takes them felt like 30 minutes, but it probably was only 10 minutes to get the situation fixed.
Right.
So I was like, man, what are you gonna come back with? And you know, I'm mad, I'm pissed, because I felt like, you know, nobody wants the power cut off in the middle of your show, no matter what it is you're doing. If you're a comedian, a singer, whatever, you don't want, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm hot, man. And I'm like, man, look, I pull up a record and I'm like, yo, this is what I'm gonna come with. He looks at the record, he puts the mic down and starts walking. He said, I don't have nothing to do with that. And so then I'm really like, I gotta show everybody. Now, I had thought out what I was gonna do and didn't necessarily communicate it to him. I was trying to be on some just follow my lead, but I didn't really get to communicate that to him.
All right.
So I just start talking to the crowd. Everybody's hot, they pissed off. And I started talking to him. I get everybody's attention. And I'm saying stuff like that. Yo, I know everybody's hot. Is it hot out there? I'm just engaging the crowd. They're starting to talk back. They're starting to slowly focus on me. So I'm like, all right, y'all, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take it back. We're going to act like, you know, we're back in 1986, back at the Fresh Fest in Astroworld. Yeah. I'm just talking. And so this is the example of, it's not necessarily what you play, but how I set it up, how I played it. And I'm like, I need everybody to put a hand in the air. I'm just doing some shit, right? I'm making up a routine. I know what I'm copying, but I don't want to say it yet. Okay. But I'm copying the routine. I'm like, everybody get a hand in the air. And when I drop this record, I need everybody to scream this at the top of your lungs. Everybody's hand goes up. Aggravated's like, he's watching me. Like,
did he run off?
He's to the side of the stage because he doesn't want to be associated with me about to catch these bricks of failure on the stage. But he's looking. He's like,
where we going with this?
I mean, he might see that. Okay, they kind of coming with you. Everybody's hands up. I'm on the mic. I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. It's fucking bananas.
Really?
The place erupts. Wow. Now, King of Rock by Run DMC is not a party record. It never has been. That's a record I would play on the radio in the old school mix.
Okay.
But the way I set it up, the way I talked them into it, the psychology of controlling a crowd
got you
is what took it over the top. Ag runs back, grabs the mic. There is none higher. Sucker.
Now he want to party.
And it's over. But he didn't know up until that moment. And so to this day, if we're ever doing something, it could be anything in life, whatever we're doing. If he's like, man, what the I'm the king of rock.
King of rock.
If I say I'm the king of rock, he'd be like, okay, you got it. Let's do it. Whatever it may be.
Wow, bro.
So shout out to Aggravated on that. But that was a pivotal moment where I was like, I can do anything. I was like, I can do anything. No, probably not. Because the power went off. And when the power was off, I probably was not thinking like I need to run back over and press record again. It was over. The party was ruined. I'm mad. Everybody's mad. We're pissed. We're pacing, so nobody's thinking about I need to go press record.
Yeah.
But that was the moment where I developed the philosophy while DJing that I can do anything. Mm-hmm. I can play anything. I can play Barry Manilow and make them go for it because what I'm going to do, the way I'm going to set it up, it's going to work.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's no doubting. Is it going to work? No, this is going to work. I'm going to make this work. I developed that confidence as a DJ just in that particular part of my life to say, I can just do whatever. Whatever I do, they're going to follow it because I'm going to hold their hands and walk them right through it. And then they're going to run with me.
So you can MC too then,
I developed that skill.
There you go.
Aggravated is probably a much better MC than I am. So I listen to him. I watch what he does. I say, okay, yeah, I need to be more like this, more like that. Yeah. It's acting for me. Okay. For me, it's acting. It's a character. And I just say, okay, I got to get into that mindset before I go on the stage. Mm-hmm. And then that allows me to have that freedom, things that I would not ordinarily say in real life, ways that I may not necessarily behave in regular life. Okay, well, this is a character. And so now I'm in character and I'm doing a show. I'm doing a performance. Because my thing with DJing was I always had the philosophy of I am going with the song. Mm-hmm. I am Run DMC when I'm playing their song. So I'm not necessarily the guy that's going to have the record playing and be like, yeah, don't forget to tip the bartenders and shout out to the No. If Peter Piper's on, I'm going with Peter Piper. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm with the music, not against the music, over the music, conflicting with the narrative of the music. I don't like to do that. I like to feel like I'm up here performing with them. So let's go. That's the King of Rock moment. I'm performing the record. You see what I'm saying?
Man, I wish I could have been there to see that.
Just come to a party me and Aggravated doing. You'll see that's what we do. We go with, more often than not, we go with the music. We kind of respect the music and respect the song. This is the experience. There's a narrative going on. I'm not just picking random records. Mm-hmm. I'm doing something. I'm creating.
It's intentional.
I'm creating an energy. I'm creating a particular flow, and it makes sense. If you listen to a recording of a recent party, you can be like, yeah, I get it. I see where you're going with this. Even if you didn't notice it at the party because you were having drinks or whatever, or you were just talking or whatever, but it all has a direction.
I don't feel like you just do that anymore.
Here's the thing. I don't know. I cannot name whoever did that. Well, I learned that in radio. When I started working in radio, we would go to the music meetings and stuff. And I remember, I want to say maybe it was Smoking Tony Richards, maybe with Magic 102, introduced the concept to me of texturing music. Because if you're mixing songs, both songs can be 95 BPM, and they can mathematically fit together, right? Okay. But if one song is Luke and the other song is Anita Baker at 95 BPM, that's two different energies. Those are opposites. So just because mathematically it matches, tonally, the texture, it's not a match.
Sonically.
It's bad.
Sonically.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And so when he told me that, I was like, you're right. So if I play Get Money, I need to follow that up with something that's kind of mellow like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's around 91 BPM, 92 BPM, but I can't just match everything because it's 92. It's got to be the same semi-smooth you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If I start playing Kiki Southside, okay, now I got to switch to that texture. I got to go in that direction for a little while to make it make sense. I hate to go somewhere and hear a DJ play a reggae, a slow song, a Luke, a bounce, then another slow song. I'm like, what are you doing? But if the crowd's going for it, hey.
Does that matter in radio as well? Like,
there's two different kinds of DJing for me. Mm-hmm. There may be more, but radio DJing is separate and different from live in front of a studio audience DJing, as I like to put it. When you got a dance floor in front of you, or even if it's not a dance floor, when you have live people in front of you, you have to pay attention to their feedback. You cannot just be looking down. Yeah, you can't just be looking down like, well, I'm just mixing. You got to say, is this working? Okay, I got a vibe going. Yeah, everybody's grooving in the seats or whatever the occasion may be. And then you go with that. On the radio, there is no instant feedback. So there, you're doing stuff that works for the radio. A lot of records that work at parties don't always work on radio and vice versa. Of course, there's lots of party records that you can't play on the radio. But there's a lot of stuff that would work on radio look, I ain't never played Gold Digger at a party. That's not a party record. Huge radio record. Yeah, huge number radio one song. Never played that at a party. That's not a party. So, and you have to know that. And a lot of DJs did not always seem to make that delineation between radio and live in front of people. So for me, those are the two types of DJing that I do. Like I say, there could be something else that's out there that's my philosophies on it.
I had the pleasure of hearing your part of your set a couple of weeks ago at 5015.
Even that. Let me break down that part. Yeah. Which obviously I have the recording from that whole day.
Okay.
But that one, you're in a situation where I'm like DJ number 4 or something in the roster. Yeah. So it's not a narrative. It's not an energy that I am in complete control of. Okay. I got to go by, what did the DJ play before me? The guy played everything. He played everything. And the DJ after me has given me a list of vague, broad terms of what I can't do. So I'm left in a box. Okay, I got like 17 options of songs. I got 17 songs I can play from my set, and that's just what it is. You have to be able to know your position. Some days I'm the headliner, some days I'm the guy in the middle. That day I was the guy in the middle, and so I had to play that position. Like, I can't play everything that I would normally play.
That makes sense though.
Because my man coming after me, DJ Scratch, was like, basically don't play too much. Don't play anything old school. Okay. Can't play no run, no LL, no EP. You can't just. And so I was like, okay. We're looking out. The crowd was kind of settled down. I was like, let me try to do some Miami stuff. Let me try to bring the energy up. Okay. And then something else took place, and I was like, okay, Houston, let's just do Houston.
Yeah.
And I'll ride it on out with the Houston stuff. So
I pulled up on Fifth Ward Boys, and I was like, it's going down.
Yeah. So you pulled up on the Houston, and I was like, well, cool. I'll stay in this groove. This cannot create a problem for any of the other DJs. I'll do this. And so I stayed in Houston.
I say this is a party because it's a DJ who shall remain nameless. I asked him to play some Fifth Ward Boys for me one time. And
wow.
Looked at me with the look of disgust and said, man, we don't play that shit. I said, damn. And it was at a club downtown. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And hey.
And I was like, damn, what happened?
It is, I wouldn't say anything one way about it or another. Yeah. I'm just going to read the crowd, look at the moment, look at the energy, look at my options, and keep making those split-second calculations of, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? What do I play now? This worked. That didn't work. Hurry up and get out of that. It's just constant calculations going on. Scan the room. Okay, that works. Bam, go. Address her. Oh, yeah, I see y'all over there in the corner. That's what, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that energy will spread. If that energy didn't spread, all right, what's the next record?
Okay, so
just keep doing that.
Tell me more. Tell me more about what are you looking for when you're trying to see, what's the crowd reaction? Are you looking for, hands in the air?
Man, I'm looking for any feedback. It could be anything.
Somebody rapping the words to the song,
just moving
to it.
If it's a place where there's lots of seating, like 5015 has lots of seating, so they're not going to be up dancing, but if they're dancing in the seats, if they're rapping along to it, okay, that's good feedback.
Okay.
But how many of them are following along? How many of them are rapping? If it's only 2 or 3, I need to get out of that. There's 800 other people out there. You see what I'm saying?
You only got a little span to scan the crowd and see what you need to see.
But
wow.
You know, I'm just accustomed to that after all the years of DJing where I'm making those. It's a constant calculations. You're always 2 or 3 records ahead.
Okay.
So if I play PWA and that worked, I've already thought of the next 3 or 4 songs. Okay, I can do Pocket Full of Stones. I can do Tell Me Something Good. I can do, you know, I've already made the next 3 steps.
Yeah, I can do Having Things, you know. Yeah, okay.
I've already made the next 2 or 3 steps.
I dig that.
And if it doesn't work, okay, same thing. Then I'm like, okay, well, that didn't work. Hey, well, I know Mo City Don to get them up because we from Mo City. And so then what am I going to do? I'm going to do a King of Rock moment. I'm going to probably stop whatever record's playing. It's not working. And I'm going to start talking to him. All right, Mo City, what's up? You know, I'm out there Ridgemont. Where my Briargate people? Whatever. I'm just going to freestyle something in that moment that's going to get their attention, just like the Run DMC story. I'm going to get their attention. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Listen to me. Come with me.
Yeah, that's right.
Come with me.
I love it.
Bam, Mo City Don, and now we're back.
Damn.
So that's what I'm going to be doing the whole time, making those calculations, making those decisions.
It's a lot like an athlete, like how you just reading and reacting on the court to what's happening, and then, you know, you got your plays that work, and you got your go-tos, you know, jumping down to Hakeem or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? That's what it sounds like how you're viewing the club, like almost like you're playing a sport, and you're.
Well, I mean, it is a sport. If you think about it, it's. If you're doing it right, it's very strategic. It's very fluid. You can have you can make a playlist of what you want to play at the party, but you may get there and be like, that's not going to work.
Right.
So now what are you going to do? You better have a whole bunch of other options available. You can't just be like, well, this is my set list. This is what I'm going to do. When people ask me, do you ever plan? I never plan. The only thing I do is pick the first record. And I only do that when I'm in the space. When I walk in and feel the energy and see what's going on, oh yeah, I bet if I do this, that'll work. But I can't even plan that out until I'm in the space. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm in 50-15 and I'm the 3rd or 4th DJ, you know what I'm saying? Go through all the calculations again. I can't play none of the 800 songs the first guy played. Wow. I can't play the stuff that the DJ after me said not to play, which is cool. So it's a constant evaluation.
Really have to communicate with each other like that and say, hey,
well, no, I don't. I would never do that. I don't. That's the sport to me. Throw me in and see if I can swim. Sink or swim. Just throw me in. Do whatever you want to do. Put me as the 5th DJ, and I'm gonna find a way. I will. I've always been able to do that. That's the challenge.
Okay.
So, but when you have a DJ that's coming from out of town, they may, you know, depending on their level of, you know, headliner and, you know, status, they may just say, yeah, just don't do none of this. And so, you know, you respect it. But so, I wouldn't tell somebody that. Because even there's been times when I've gone places out of town and somebody else did a Houston set.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, maybe I'll do a New Orleans set. He didn't do that, you know. Or, you know, if I'm in the Midwest, okay, well, you know, he's doing all the down south stuff. I'll just do the East Coast set. He didn't do that. I'll do some Jay-Z and stuff, you know, that whole era.
This brings me to like a 2-sided question then. So because I saw a poll and it said like, what is the most H-Townest song out there? And I think they had like Southside, Wanna Be a Baller, Mo City Don, stuff like that. Because you've been in H-Town for a long time. You know the culture. Yeah. You know the roots and everything. And you've seen it all. What is the most H-Townest song out there?
It really is Southside to me.
Really is, huh?
Because there's a lot of great Houston songs, but that became an anthem.
Yeah.
You know, that one took on like stadium status. You know what I'm saying? You could go play that. You could play that during the Texans game in the stadium. You know what I'm saying? Literally, that could be a stadium song, and everybody knows it.
Because she's from the South Side. I'm from Fifth Ward.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's always
okay. There you go. That's without me knowing that took place. I'm telling you. So that's my DJ mind says that's a stadium status kind of song. It's an anthem. So there's a bunch of other songs that I like from Houston. I'm from Mo City, so Mo City Don is a given. But Mind Playing Tricks on Me. I'm an 80s dude. So I really look, my favorite rappers are Royal Flush from Houston.
Yeah.
Royal Flush are my guys.
Yeah. Shout out to Rick Royal, man.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Rick Royal. Shout out to I talked to Big Mun maybe about a month ago. Who was, I don't know if he's in the picture, but yeah, those were my guys. That's probably my favorite group. Out of Houston. And so that's dope. There's lots of stuff.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
There's lots of great Houston songs, but yeah, you gotta give it to Southside, man. Right, and Wanna Be a Baller is right close.
Right there.
It might be 1.5. If Top Strap, there's a lot of great songs. Look, I'm Mind Playing Tricks on Me. There's lots of, but even going back to that mid, that 2000s era, yeah, Tops Drop. There's a lot of songs like that. Pimpin' the Pen, Pimpin' Pens.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Pimpin' Pens, man.
I know what I'm talking about.
Come on.
That's the one.
That's a huge party record for me. But having to rank it based on what's the song, it's got to be Southside to me. So shout out to Don Key. It's got to be Southside because that song transcended just being a great song and turned into an anthem. Okay. There's songs that you hear at the games like dun, dun, dun. You don't know the name of that song, but it's an anthem. It superseded whatever rock charts he was trying to get on. It became something bigger, and that's Southside to me. Right. People who don't even listen to rap might be like, yeah, we know that song. We know we're from Houston. We know South. So that's what it is to me.
So here's the part two, man. The reason why we sitting here is because we had a conversation based on a post I made. You know what I'm saying? So here's my next question. How do you approach DJing out of town? When you're on the road, are you taking the South Side and the Mo City Don? You taking them joints with you? Or well, everything digital now, but how do you approach that? Are you gonna spin that? Or
if you look at my YouTube channel, YouTube/Def Jam Blaster, there is video footage of me and DJ Aggravated in Atlanta. Okay. We went out to DJ one of Jermaine Dupri's big parties in like 99. And we were on the radio with Chris Lover, who became Ludacris later.
That's right.
So yes, I brought a whole crate of Houston stuff. I'm like, that's what we do. When we go out of town, we're bringing Houston with us. Now, we're in a friendly region, meaning musically friendly. Everybody's friendly, but we're in a region that is musically similar. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I went to, I'm not in South Bronx trying to, which I probably still would have tried it, but I also would have said, okay, well, I'm just still going to analyze. Let me read the room. Right. I'm not here trying to prove a point. I'm here what's my objective? Is my objective to rock the crowd? Then that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm here to move the crowd, so I'm going to do what it takes for that. So in Atlanta, DC, me and Aggravated would go DJ at Howard Homecoming in the 90s. So same thing. We're coming up there like about it. You know what I'm saying?
Bringing the South with you.
Drag them in the river. You know what I'm saying? We're bringing that. That's what we're doing when we get. Now we're still going to hit the, the Jay-Z's and the whatever's, the other stuff. But we are definitely
letting them know
bringing Houston with us. But always reading the crowd. Even go on my YouTube channel, look at all the BET appearances. It's always a Houston, We was the dudes bringing Houston with us to New York, doing 106 and Park, doing the basement and stuff.
How did that come about? Like, how did that whole thing come?
So shout out to my man Cliff Mack. That went to TSU. Some brothers from Houston ended up getting jobs out there, and they were like, "Yo, we got these guys from Texas that you have to bring. You have to bring them. You got to bring them. You got." And they were like, "Okay, let's do it." And so yeah, shout out to Cliff and that whole BET. Dr. Teeth was one of the directors. So shout out to those brothers. Yeah, they were very instrumental in that. And now at that time, in the Def Jam Blaster character, we were the top DJs in the state. If you had the name top 5, we're in there somewhere. So it made sense to bring us. And I think my man Steve Nice had been there. He's in there too. He's in there too. Out of whoever your top 10 was, we were 3 of them. So it made sense to say, okay, these guys are, I mean, we were dominating the party scene. Like I said, Steve dominated the club scene. The Roxy on the Wednesdays, bananas. Steve had that on lock, and it was like, it was just art. It was an art form. He did stuff that I was like, I never would have thought of that. What the fuck? How did he get away with that? He would stop and take like a break, like a coffee break in the middle of the club. And I'd be like, how the fuck is this working? How is he doing? So, but everybody was being creative with the stuff. So all that to say that because we were dominating that party scene, the party scene was huge. Party promoters, college parties, they were flying us out to Cancun to DJ every year for Memorial Day. We were just doing all kind of stuff, going to Howard Homecoming. So it made sense. Okay, bring these guys to represent Texas, you know, because stuff like Ludacris, you know, this was becoming, we're slowly starting to develop a different sound. So yeah, bring the DJs that are from that area. So that's basically what it was. At that time, you had to bring us.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
at that time.
Yeah,
you know, if it's 2000, you got to bring the Hollywood.
When you're the hottest, yeah,
you had to at that time. You know, so
yes, man, yeah. Wow, man, it's just the stories is just crazy. What do you enjoy the most, man? Like production or DJing?
I enjoy production, man.
Yeah.
Because it is completely up to me. I don't have to read the room. I just pull out a record and be like, yo, this is kind of a dope song. I like this look, you know, it's just something you can just kind of do on your own, and you don't have to worry about what anybody else thinks about it, you know. So I enjoy that a little bit more. I enjoy DJing when I get to do things that are in my lane. There's been things over the years that I have graciously declined because I was like, I'm not going to be the best DJ for that. You know, I think that's another thing DJs got to be able to do is know what your lane is. If you're not good at what this, you know, decline before you go in there and embarrass yourself, you know. Right. And so there's been things I've declined, but yeah, I enjoy DJing if I can kind of stay in my lane. You know, I'm 53 as of this taping, so if I can stay 35 and up, that's my preference. You know, if I can stay in that age group, I know I can handle that, you know, with a certain level of mastery that, you know, that I'm capable of. If it goes too much younger, then I'm going to be like, I'm not the best choice for that. I can do it. And I do things that are younger, but I enjoy my lane. I enjoy my lane. I enjoy my speed.
One of the topics that I talk about a lot on here, man, is people who are the best of both worlds, like producers who can rap, you know, or rappers who can produce as well. But let me ask you this: who are some of your favorite DJs who are producers as well? Like, RZA. We kind of
don't even give me any examples. I can just run them down.
Yeah, go ahead.
DJ Premier, Marley Marl, Pete Rock. I don't really know RZA as a DJ necessarily, so I don't know if I would have named him, but those are going to be the ones right there. Primo is first, with Marley Marl and Pete Rock being a very close second for me. You know, Marley Marl has been behind some of the most enduring beats, and we're talking just drum machine. If you Make the Music with Your Mouth Biz, that instrumental
absolutely
is incredible. You know, all these years later, there's not even a melody on the instrument. It's incredible. Yeah. If you take Eric B for President, it's, I mean, come on. You could just stop right there. You don't have to name any more Marley Marl songs. You can be like, yeah, those are two of the pillars of hip hop beat production right there.
Yeah.
You know, so you can just stop right there for him. You know, Primo, like I was saying earlier, the way he can chop a sample up is just incredible. So Pete Rock, the same thing. You know, when he had his run, just the horns. I love horns and samples, man. He just finds so much stuff. Yeah, so those are my guys. DJs that are great producers. You know, I got to see. Well, you know, here's the thing. I didn't know Jazzy Jeff was a producer when those first records were coming out.
Okay.
So that's an excellent point. And I think me and my man Baby C discussed this once. Like, let's say when, you know, Girls of the World, Girls of Number Trouble. When that came out, I didn't know he made the beat. I just thought he was the DJ. It was not as publicized as it was maybe with Marley Marl. It was kind of understood that, you know, Marley Marl was making the beats and doing the scratches. But for whatever reason, it didn't really come off that way. And I wasn't really into reading the liner notes very closely to read that it might have said, you know, music by Jeff Towns or whatever. So didn't really know. And so now I'd have to go back and say, well, what are the songs? You know, which ones, if he did them all, you know, I don't know where I'd rank him. It wouldn't be top 5 for me though.
But I mean, but the ones you did name is some solid.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can't argue with those 3 of those in particular. You know, Prince Paul. I got to put Prince Paul in there. Man. I got to put Prince Paul in there.
Yeah.
Let me say this about Prince Paul because it's interesting. Like online hip hop communities, you know, hip hop is worldwide and it's a beautiful thing. Every culture is into it. Lovely, welcome. But when people try to say that Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys, this is the album that you know was groundbreaking on sampling and everything, I'm like, no, man, 3 Feet High and Rising is the album that went bananas on sampling. Then you get Paul's Boutique. But I find, like I said, you know, it's just interesting when you talk about who introduces different cultures and different groups of people to hip hop. For a lot of people that were not black, it might have been the Beastie Boys that, because they were kind of a little bit rock, you know, especially before License to Ill, they were doing punk, they were doing like punk type stuff. Yeah. So if that's your introduction to rap music, then you think Paul's Boutique is that album. And unfortunately, that's a much more popular, that's a much bigger fan base. So they always kind of get that credit. And I'm always in the comments, nope, 3 Feet High and Rising, Prince Paul.
Yeah.
That's the album that went bananas with and pioneered to me that orchestrated chaos of samples and layering and just ridiculous non sequiturs and just skits. You know, they pretty much invented skits on albums.
Yeah, they did.
You know what I'm saying? 3 Feet High and Rising is it. That is the one for me. So like Prince Paul is in there too.
You really just made me, you know, reflect on how much of an influence that Prince Paul is to me.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You got to think about it. Like I mentioned the Stetsasonic.
Yep.
You know, he was one of the key players in there.
Yep.
De La.
Yep.
Grave Diggers when he was working with
RZA. Yes.
And listen, man, that concept album, Prince
Handsome Boy. Oh, Prince Among Thieves.
Prince Among Thieves.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I was gonna say also you got Handsome Boy Modeling School. He just kept going with Dan the Automator.
Yeah.
Prince Paul is that guy,
amazing.
man.
He is amazing.
Prince Paul is that guy.
Big love.
No, what I'm saying is that Prince Paul did 3 Feet High and Rising first and doesn't get the credit. Everybody tries to give the credit, in my opinion, to Paul's Boutique as being the groundbreaking sample album with 1,000 samples. And I'm like, no, that's not correct to me. It should be 3 Feet High and Rising.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Man, I know we can go on and on all day talking hip hop, but I man, it was just a blessing to have you here, man. And I wanted to, you know, let you tell your story, man, and give you your flowers for the work that you've done over the decades, man.
Thank you.
Big love, man. Big love, man. If we can do this again one day and kind of pick up on something that we didn't touch on.
I mean, I got a bag full of records that we didn't even get to. So yeah, we can always do another
man,
one.
But definitely, man, just want to give you flowers for your contribution in hip hop, man, and Houston hip hop as well. You know, I know you did big things. You know, like you were saying, man, the BET and everything. And did y'all do something like the cruise or something like that? Do something on the cruise?
Yeah, me and Aggravated did. Well, look, you're talking about cruise. I'm thinking airplanes. We had a show on Continental Airlines for a few years.
That's what it was.
We've done lots of stuff, and you know, it was kind of before social media.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily documented, but somebody be like, "Man, we just came back from Italy, and we were listening to y'all on the plane."
See what I'm saying?
There's lots of things like that, and it's cool when people just find it.
So you've touched the world, like you left your thumbprint here. You know, if it was just be put on stop right now today.
I'm very happy with it. You know, I'm happy with it. I've had a lot of fun. I've never really been chasing the accolades, so I appreciate everything. I appreciate you asking and acknowledging.
Thank you.
Because I'm not really looking for it. So whenever it happens, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Thanks.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
And like you just one of the most professional dudes I ever seen, man. And just the way you approach your craft, you know, you could tell that you love what you do. You know what I'm saying? And even from the album cover, you not holding on to any pistols. It's like you kept this clean appearance, man. You're not, you know, like when you come with it, you coming with some professionalism.
But that's even early hip hop. You know, if you can go back and look at some of the, early footage of things that were going on in the 80s, that's what it was. You know, you wore a button-up polo with your hat on, maybe you cocked it to the side, and it's okay to not be gangster.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay to just be, I'm just about the art, man. I just want to scratch. And I said it earlier, and shout out to Lil Troy. He always shielded me from stuff because we were meeting right over on Scott and Lydia, right in Third Ward. That's where Shortstop was.
Yeah.
So
that wasn't
stuff was happening.
That wasn't your neck of the woods.
It was not at all. Stuff was happening. I'll tell one last story and then be out. One time when we were there working on some music, me and 3-2, somebody came in the door and tried to rob us. They held us at gunpoint, made us all get down on our knees, and we were shook. Damn. And Troy handled it. And so I'm just saying all that to say, we were around stuff, but I was like, yeah, that's just not me. So I'm not gonna pretend like that's me. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm hard. I'm not into smoke and I'm not into drinking. I just want to make these beats, and scratch these records. And so I just always maintain that because again, early hip hop that I was seeing was just like that. They're just here to learn the new breakdance moves. They're just here to hear the new beats. And I was like, yeah, that's me. Okay. That's what I like.
So I kind of want to show off a couple of more pieces of vinyl. So let's do it like this. So
sure.
Most of this stuff is on sale on your website. It's for
some of it is, some of it is.
So just plug what you need to plug and let them know to go to the website.
Go to my Instagram. You can click the link in the bio, and there's going to be links to all that. But defjamblaster.com is the website. This is the 7-inch. Private Identity was the group name for me and 3-2 in high school.
Yes, sir.
Look, this is probably, I think this is already sold out, but Mr. 3-2 and Big Mike, again, the link is on there if you want to see that. Man, I got all kind of stuff. That's my No-Dos stuff. Shout out to my man, D. LaTroy. And we have vinyl on that too, but I think the vinyl is sold out. So, you may not find that one. There's all kind. Look, I produced an album on Big Tho, man. RP to Big Tho.
Oh, RP Big Tho.
Yeah, I produced an album and did a lot of songs with him. That was one of the homies, man. I got a compilation. I think my latest release is called The Lost and Found. Okay. There's still some copies of that available.
I seen that a lot back in the
day. There's one of the mixtape. You can't buy this anymore. We got cease and desisted on that one. So if you have this, it's like that Scarface 12-inch. If you got that real Scarface, man, hold on to that. Flow Masters project I did, man, with one of my mans, one of my boys out of San Antonio, Big Pokey, Young Star, So I got into that stuff a little bit doing man, look, we'll be here all day.
Yeah,
we'll be here all day, man. But all the stuff is on the website, man, that I still have available. So
man, this was a blessing, man. I sure appreciate you,
bro. Man. Thanks for having me, man.
Definitely.
I had a good time.
Lab Text, y'all know what it is, man. It's your Kinfo DMR. We just got through talking to the legendary, man, Def Jam Blaster, one half of the Hollywood Boys. I mean, producer, DJ, everything, man. You got to do it all. You got to be able to do it all.
Yeah,
man.
that's the era I'm from. You do everything. You hit all of the 4 pillars. You give me a spray paint can. It's not gonna be the best, but I can tag something for you.
Can you windmill?
I can do an egg roll. You know what an egg roll is? It's when you can't. It's when you got to use your hands with the windmill. Like I can't just do. Yeah. Anyway, we can get in. Get into that later. Yeah.
Hey, and once again, man, shout out to
right. Some linoleum out.
Shout out to the fam, Neek Roots. Shout out to Brandon Myasia. You know what I'm saying? Here at the Curators of Dopeness.
This place is real nice.
Yeah, man. Daisies and pancakes. Shout out to Share the Experience, man. Extraordinaire. She's very important, man. Creative director. Shout out to everybody in the comments. One time before we get up out of here, I got to shout out my sponsors, man. One time for Lonesome Frog Records. You know what I'm saying? 1900 Blaylock Road, Suite E. Go holler at Bill and Brett, you know what I'm saying, for your vinyls, CDs, tapes, bumper stickers, incense, I think that's about it. I don't think they selling CBD yet over there, nothing like that. But and they got some back to the lab bumper stickers over there if y'all need that. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to attorney at law, man, Stephen St. Martin. That's my lawyer partner.
Okay,
man.
okay.
832-423-6056. If you get caught in the mix, he'll help you out. I ain't gonna say he gonna free your ass, but he'll help you out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow the social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's going down, man. Just look for Back to the Lab, and I'm pretty sure we'll pull up, man. And don't forget, man, the radio show every Friday from 7 to 9 on Bangin' 832 Radio, man. The Back to the Lab show from 7 to 9. So rock with us. I'm going to be playing joints that celebrate anniversaries, and then I'm just going to get into some of my favorites, man. You know, so who knows? We might hear some some Big Mike and 3-2 on that motherfucker. I'm gonna have to leave some of these records with you, man. I was hoping you would say that. Man. Big love, man. Shout out to everybody out there. You got any shout out you want to, real quick?
Man, I hit a lot of them, man. Just everybody. It's been over 40 years of stuff, man. So, my partner DJ Aggravated, Baby C out there in Mo City, Crazy City, my family, my sister. I know a lot of you guys know my sister.
Yeah.
I call her Beth Jam Blaster.
Oh, okay.
No, I call her Beth Jam Blaster.
Oh, Beth Jam. Okay.
She hates that, so
All right.
Yeah, just everybody, man. Like I said, over the 40 years, 40 some odd years it has been. So yeah, man, too many people to name, man.
You blessed my platform, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
For sure. All right, we up out of here, y'all. One love, man. Big love. Big love.
And we didn't even talk about a lot.